Hi, my name is David McNeil. I'm an account manager with version 1, and today's webinar is in relation to Oracle ERP Roadmap and the strategy around about that. So I'm just going to take you through a few slides. This is not a new topic, but just a bit of a refresher, and there are some important announcements just being made by Oracle, which I just want to raise your awareness on. So really, this is around about a number of organizations out there using Oracle ERP and where do you go now. So we have a number of clients out there. There's a large number of organizations out there running Oracle E-Business Suite 12.1.3. And Oracle have announced some time ago that Premier support for 12.1.3 ends in December 2021. Equally, there may be people out there running prior versions to Oracle E-Business Suite. So there may be people running 11.5.10, for example. So this applies equally to these. So what are the options available to these organizations? So I just want to go through a brief agenda where we talk about what the business drivers behind this, a reminder on the e-business suite support lines, a little bit of a refresher on what cloud considerations are, the various variants of cloud, and then step through what the options are for people running on 12.1.3 or earlier. And then we're going to have a brief look at some of the options, one being cloud ERP applications and one being Oracle E-Business Suite Release 12 and what the path is there. So regarding upgrades, so very often organizations will say to us that they need to be on Premier support, and that's a very relevant thing to do. A lot of our clients would like to stay on Premier support with Oracle E-Business Suite to reduce risk, and the perceived driver there is that they want to stay on a fully supported, Premier supported version of Oracle E-Business Suite. However, and while that is relevant, there are other reasons why you'd want to go through either an upgrade or a re-implementation or a move to cloud ERP. And these options may be improved agility and innovation. So as the software vendor brings out new releases of software, we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of these. They would hopefully look to reduce cost. I don't know any organization that doesn't want to reduce cost. So people would typically be looking to reduce cost, and the ability to reduce cost will very much depend on what your starting point is and where you are at the moment. But clearly we're looking to modernize IT where possible. Reducing risk by moving to the latest supported version is always something that a client would always look to do if at all possible. And something that any client would always be looking for in any new system or any upgraded system is better insight. So looking for better information coming out of the system. So these are really carrots rather as opposed to reducing risk and just being on a Premier supported platform, which is more the stick approach. So very often customer challenges we hear are, here's some examples here. So we have examples where a client will have hardware on premise and that hardware will be coming to end of life and therefore need to refresh that underlying infrastructure. It could be that the solution, the ERP solution that they have is out of vendor support or moving into sustaining support. You might be about to be audited by Oracle. Remember that Oracle do retain the right to audit your systems periodically to make sure that you're not violating any licensing. More and more, we're finding that a lot of organizations are wanting to move to the cloud, so staying on-premise is no longer an option. They may not have a data center, and therefore moving to the cloud is a given, and they have to migrate to the cloud. The organization is looking to faster change and innovation. And a lot of organizations out there may have very heavily customized Oracle e-business suites. Now, customizations, as a lot of organizations will know, can be costly to implement and equally costly to support and maintain, especially during upgrade cycles. So just some of the reasons and some of the challenges that clients are having out there at the moment. So with any ERP strategy, be it Oracle or indeed anybody else, then we see this as being a 360 and never ending. So you're looking for a solution that is going to be protected. So we talk about GDPR. We have a legal obligation to make sure that sensitive data, sensitive personal data is protected. Organizations, as we talked about customizations, would typically be looking to reduce the customization footprint and adopt standard functionality where possible. So it reduces cost, reduces complexity, reduces risk. Organizations more and more are talking to us about migrating to the cloud, and be that AWS, be that Azure, be that the Oracle offering. There's a number of options available to organizations out there. From an auditing perspective, making sure you have the correct subscriptions and licenses. And if you are looking at migrating to the cloud, that can change, and some of the considerations there can be more complex round about Azure and AWS. There's more consideration required there. Every organization in an ideal world would want to upgrade to the latest and greatest release of the solution they're on, better functionality, fixes, etc. As we talked about earlier, organizations looking for a better insight coming from the system, so getting better value from their data. And then maximizing that investment through adopting of new functionality, and so on and so forth. So just a reminder on the Oracle eBusiness Suite support timelines. So this is in the public domain. It's just a reminder here. This is taken from the Oracle's lifetime support policy. So Oracle no longer de-support products typically. They have different levels of support. So we have Premier support, moving to extended support, moving to sustaining support. So many people out there viewing this will be on 12.1, sorry, probably 12.1.3. And the Premier support for that ends in December 2021. So that's the current date that Premier support will end. After that, then clients will move automatically to sustaining support. And we'll come back to what sustaining support really means just in a second. And hot off the press, Oracle announced in March that if you were to migrate to 12.2, then the support for that, the Premier support, has now been extended out to December 2031. So that's over 10 years away, which is quite compelling for a lot of organizations. If you can get onto the 12.2 innovation stream, then you have guaranteed Premier support for the next 10 plus years. And Oracle, at their own discretion, have a rolling window that will increase that Premier support ending, and it's at their discretion. And certainly over the last few years, Oracle have been good to the word, and they have pushed out that Premier support window. So again, this is in the public domain, just to pick out a couple of takeaways from this. So Oracle have been in a continuous innovation release model. That's been around for some years now, since approximately 2013. So it's not a new concept. But what it does mean, when you move to 12.2, then you can move on to new releases, new point releases within 12.2 without a major upgrade. Now, what's been stopping people from doing upgrades in the past is the cost that's related with major upgrades. So once we're onto the 12.2 continuous innovation release model, then we can apply releases without major upgrades, and therefore significantly reduce cost. And the other key takeaway here is that Premier support for 10.2 will be available through to at least 2031. So Oracle may extend that in the future at their discretion. But certainly having 10 plus years of Premier support is very compelling. And what it also means is that Oracle are making these new releases available approximately annually. So there's no fixed dates in these, but Oracle are releasing new release updates for 12.2 approximately on an annual basis. And they've also separated out the technology stack. So we have our application tier, we have a technology stack, and what we can do now is we can apply upgrades to the technology stack without affecting the application. So we can actually divorce the two, and we can do them separately now. So just another way of showing that, the graphic on the screen shows that the latest release available to us for 12.2 is 12.2.9, and that came out in August 2019. And as we can see, if we step back through 12.2.8, 12.2.7, we can see that Oracle are delivering new releases of 12.2 on pretty much an annual basis. So therefore, while there is no release date for 12.2.10 at the moment, we should anticipate that coming down the line September, October, something like that this year. Clearly subject to change, but Oracle seem to be honouring that roadmap. So that then gives us Premier support for release 12.2 to at least 2031. And if you stay in release 12.1, then that's going to expire in December 2021. And just a reminder that Oracle have separated out the application code and the underlying technology. So what that does mean is when we're onto the 12.2 stream, then we can actually apply the technology tech stack upgrades separately from the e-business suite upgrades as well. So we've actually divorced these out and they're now separated. So just a reminder on what support actually means within Oracle. Oracle typically don't de-support. So with the Oracle lifetime support policy, they have different levels of support. Most organizations would try and stay on premier support if they can. And there's lots of good reasons for that, because you get new updates and fixes. Critically, you get your critical patch updates. So Oracle releases on a quarterly basis, and these will address vulnerabilities in this day and age with systems being accessible via the web. Then critical patch updates are a critical component to apply to your system on a quarterly basis. Some clients we have would apply these on a quarterly basis. Some would maybe apply these on a less frequent, maybe an annual basis. With 12.1.3, there is no extended support, so we don't need to worry about the column here saying extended support. And if we don't upgrade 12.1.3 by December 2021, then we automatically move on to sustaining support. And there's many organizations out there that may be running 11.5.10, and ultimately this comes down to risk. So we can see here that if we move to sustaining support, then we will no longer get any new updates and fixes. So Oracle will give you any fixes they have known. More importantly, there will be no critical patch updates. So as new vulnerabilities are identified, they will not be backported and they will not be made available. And where that becomes a real big problem is if you are running something like HR Pay and you want to apply your tax and legal, your legislative patches on an annual basis, these will no longer be available to you. Another important point here is certification with third-party products. So we do have examples of clients running on old versions of Oracle e-business suite. They're currently on sustaining support, and they're now seeing issues because Microsoft and other vendors have moved forward with their products. Oracle don't certify these, so they're not saying they won't work, but they don't certify the products with these new versions. And as the e-business suite stands still and the third-party software vendors progress with their releases, then the chances and the risk then becomes greater and greater over time. So just a reminder of what the implications of sustaining support are. You will only get fixes and updates for existing issues. There's no guarantee of certification with third-party solutions, so it may work, it may not. And as we said, as the third-party solutions bring out new releases, so as Microsoft bring out new releases of Internet Explorer, of their Office products, of their Windows products, etc., then the longer that the e-business suite is left alone, then the greater the chance and the risk that the potential for them not to be compatible and not certified. And we talked about critical patch updates. So many of our clients would look to apply these on a regular basis to address vulnerabilities. So if you move on to sustaining support, you will no longer get these critical patch updates, these CPUs. So just a reminder then on the various different variants you can get with the cloud. So cloud means different things, different people, but essentially we have three. We have infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So infrastructure as a service is where Oracle or indeed AWS or Microsoft Azure will make virtual machines available for installation of products onto that. And typically, if you're going to migrate your Oracle e-business suite out to the cloud, that is the model you'll be adopting. You'll be moving to IaaS. PaaS is where we have products already sitting there in the cloud. So for example, security, we might have single sign-on. We could have database cloud services sitting in the cloud rather than on-premise. And then we have SaaS at the top, and the Oracle offering there is Oracle Cloud ERP. Historically, some people may know it as Oracle Fusion. It comes out of various different naming conventions, but Oracle Cloud ERP is a SaaS offering, and we'll come back to that offering just in a second in a little bit more detail. So the key differences are if you are on-premise, many people will be on-premise, we still have many clients running on-premise, then it's up to you as an organization or a third party, somebody like version 1 who provides managed services, to look after that entire estate for you. So that's looking after the physical hardware, virtualization of existing operating system, etc., all the way up to the application. If we move to IaaS, infrastructure as a service, then we're moving the management of certain elements up to the virtualization, typically out to a third party, and that could be Oracle, that could be AWS, that could be Microsoft. Or we move to platform as a service. As we said, examples of that might be single sign-on functionality, that could be database as a service sitting out in the cloud. And then right along the right-hand side, software as a service. So this is where we're buying packaged applications sitting in the cloud, and we're using that as a service. So just to take you through the options available to you. So top left-hand side, you're running Oracle E-Business Suite 12.1.3. You may be on a previous version, you might be on 11.5.10, and 12.1.3, the Premier support's ending December 21. What's my options available to me? So you may make a decision as an organization to move to software as a service. So that's the Oracle Cloud ERP offering. We have a number of clients done that, moved away from Oracle E-Business Suite to the SaaS model. That's a re-implementation. So you're looking at a brand new implementation of a new product sitting in the Oracle Cloud. There's tools available to assist you with that. So you may have a legacy Oracle E-Business Suite running 12.1.3. You may want to take some of that data and migrate that forward into Cloud ERP, and there's tools and methodologies available to support that. You may decide that actually you're content with E-Business Suite and you're happy with the innovation model taking you out to 2031. So how do we take advantage of that? So we can move to we can stay on-premise. And again, we have clients talking to us about on-premise. So we could take that and do a lift and shift onto new hardware. The issue being with that, if you're running Oracle Payroll in 12.1.3, as we said, you're no longer going to get your legislative patching at the end of the year, and therefore really that prohibits staying in 12.1.3 because you're not going to get your legislative patching. So if you're using Payroll, that's not really an option for you. But we could stay on-premise and we could go through an upgrade, and we could upgrade to 12.2, it would be 12.2.9 at the moment, and that then takes us on to the continuous and innovation model. Other option for you, if you decide you're going to stay with Oracle E-Business Suite, is to place it into the public cloud. And as we said, there's 3 options available to you. And version 1 of example of migrating clients to all of these options. So we have clients running in the Oracle Cloud, we have clients running in AWS, and we have clients running it in Microsoft Azure. And again, you could just decide to do a lift and shift, take exactly what you want and move that out into the cloud. Again, if you're running 12.1.3, that's not really an option for you because you're not going to get your legislative patching. Or you can go through an upgrade at the same time, and we have an example of a client doing that very project at the moment, where they're taking their e-business suite on-premise, migrating that into the Oracle Cloud and performing an upgrade to Oracle 12.2.9 at the same time. So just run through the options available. So do nothing. So just stay as you are. Organizations do that, but it's not really viable if you're on payroll, as we said, because you're not going to get your latest patching beyond December 2021. You could upgrade to the latest version of 12.2 and remain on-premise, upgrade to the latest version of 12.2 and migrate to public cloud, and there's 3 options available to you. Or you can migrate all or part to Oracle ERP cloud applications. So just to run through these in a little bit more detail. So clearly do nothing. So the benefit of that is it's not going to cost you any more than it currently costs you. So you can carry on as you are just now, no project disruption, you carry on in steady state. The downside being you're going to move into sustaining support. Now, many auditors will flag that up as a risk, especially because you cannot apply your critical patch updates, and many auditors will see that as a risk to your organization. You're not going to get any new functionality, so you're standing still. You're on a legacy IT, probably, so you're potentially got hardware sitting in-house and it's got a warranty date on it, and that warranty date is looming. You're not going to get any new bugs or issues fixing sustaining support, as we said, and then you've got the issue around about certification with third-party products, for example, Microsoft. So the next option is to upgrade and remain on-premise, and again, we have examples of clients doing that. So takes you to the latest version of Oracle E-Business Suite. In this example, it would be 12.2.9, and that gives you new functionality. And Oracle are very much investing heavily in E-Business Suite. So we'll come back to some of the new functionality in a second. But we also have rolling support to 2031 and beyond. So if you remember, Oracle do have the right to extend that at their discretion. And this upgrade would essentially be your last major upgrade, and beyond that, you then shift to the annual point releases. So the downside to that, annual patch cycling, you don't have to do annual patch cycling. So we have clients that have upgraded to 12.2.5, 12.2.6, and they're quite happy to sit in that, and they don't apply any further patching, and Oracle will honour that support and premium support until 2031. Equally, you can see this as a pro, because if we do apply the annual patching, then we're going to start seeing some benefit of new functionality coming down the line. It is a significant investment, so anybody that's been involved in an Oracle E-Business Suite upgrade in the past and knows that it's a project, and there's cost associated with that. And if you do elect to stay on premise, then we have to have hardware to support that, and the warranty and the data center space and etc., everything that goes with that as well. So another option would be to do an upgrade and migrate to public cloud. And again, we have clients doing this very project right now as we speak. So we get all the benefits and new functionality of Oracle E-Business Suite 12.2.9 coming down the line. We get support till 2031. This is our last major upgrade. We no longer get hardware on premise. So the hardware is now somebody else's problem to look after. We don't have the expenditure relating to hardware infrastructure because we no longer have that. It's no longer a responsibility. Because we're moving to a cloud computing model. So again, on an annual basis, we have the option to apply our annual patching, and that annual patching would be significantly less than the actual upgrade itself to 12.2. So if we did an upgrade to 12.2.9 and we decided we wanted to apply some annual patching in a couple of years down the time, that would be a much smaller investment and a much smaller project than doing the initial upgrade to 12.2 in the first place. The 12.2 upgrade in its first place, though, is still a significant investment, so there's still a project to get you onto 12.2. Or we can migrate to Oracle Cloud applications, Oracle Cloud ERP. So we're basically saying we're no longer going to use Oracle E-Business Suite, and we're going to implement a new solution in the Oracle Cloud, Oracle SaaS. You would hope that the total cost of ownership would reduce over time. Exactly how much and over what period you'd expect to see a break even or return on your investment depends on individual circumstances. No two clients are exactly the same. Benefits being you're always on the leading technology. So moving on to Oracle Cloud ERP, you'll get 4 quarter releases. So you're always on the leading technology. You're getting new functionality coming down from Oracle once a quarter. You don't need hardware and you don't need DBA support. Oracle do that. So Oracle apply the upgrades, the patching, etc. They supply the infrastructure. Oracle look after everything, and that's all included within your subscription that you pay to Oracle. So you've got less suppliers to worry about. You don't have your hardware suppliers. You potentially don't have a managed service provider, and it's all sitting with Oracle. And with Oracle Cloud ERP, as you might imagine, huge investment from Oracle going into that with new releases once a quarter and adopting best practice. Some of the downsides of moving Cloud ERP, cloud is less flexible. So historically, people had the options for using things like Oracle Forms, reports, etc., to change the underlying Oracle E-Business Suite model. That's no longer available to you in Cloud ERP, although there are ways to extend the functionality of Cloud ERP. So there are options using platform as a service to extend the flexibility and the functionality of Oracle Cloud ERP. As we said before, moving to Cloud ERP is an implementation, so it's a brand new project. You're starting again from scratch to implement Cloud ERP. You have to consider your data migration. We talked about tools available to migrate your data from your existing e-business suite out into Cloud ERP. You need to consider what integration points you have. And again, this is where platform service comes in, because we can use platform service to assist with these integrations, tools like database as a service. And a potential downside, depending on your view in life, is the quarter release cycle. So you then have regression testing. So Oracle will force these quarter release cycles upon you. So you get the benefit of new functionality coming down the line. However, you do have to do regression testing on each of these quarter releases. So just a little bit on what Oracle Cloud ERP applications looks like. So one of the things Oracle have been looking to do is to simplify, standardize the financial process, so get rid of paper as much as possible from the process, to automate your workflows, have approval processes, streamline based on best practices. Oracle has a whole host of business best practices built into their product that you can leverage. New, fresh and engaging user interface for your employees, including social collaboration, and always the ability to drive strategic and data-driven decisions, so better analytics are built into the solution. So again, I've never come across a solution where somebody didn't want to get better analytics and better information so they can make better decisions. So the Oracle footprint in Oracle Cloud ERP is ever expanding. The financial elements, so the GL, the accounts payable, receivables, etc., that most of the organizations listening to this will be using, have been there for some time now. And indeed, the procure to pay cycle has been there for some time as well. There's a whole host of other applications available. These are the most typical used by our client base. So again, some of the things you was looking for from a modern platform, agility through IT simplification and scalability. So scalability is very important. I was talking to a client this morning and they're looking at implementing another couple of organizations onto an existing system. So the ability to flex the subscription and to add in more users very easily into an existing system is very attractive. Looking to simplify business processes. So some of you out there may be using Oracle Business Suite for many, many years, and the processes may have been convoluted, may be complex, may no longer be fit for purpose. So the opportunity to streamline these processes. The ability to enhance the user experience, to drive productivity and automation with your user base. And again, as we said, having inbuilt improved analytics and reporting is very key. So what cloud SaaS looks like compared to on-premise applications. So your on-premise applications, we've still got data centers in the mix with hardware costs, disaster recovery costs. We've got customizations that need to be created, need to be maintained going forward. We've got annual support costs for Oracle, but also potentially for managed service providers. We may have our own IT staff internally looking after that. We may subcontract that out, the managed service element, and we've got to manage their own network and security, etc., etc. And as soon as we do an upgrade, almost immediately that then becomes outdated. If we move to a cloud applications model, then you only pay for what you want. So we're basically paying a rental. And if you want to increase that over time, if you want to add on more modules, if you are adding more users to the system, then we only pay for what we need as we grow. It means your business users can focus on the business rather than IT support, so you can focus in on what your real business is. And then standard security is built in, and we talked about upgrades. So we get 4 releases per year, so we don't get any massive upgrades anymore. We're getting 4 regular releases, making sure we are getting the latest innovation coming through from Oracle. So regarding look and feel, so it's a very different look and feel now. Anybody who's running Oracle Business Suite, then Oracle Cloud ERP is a very different look and feel. There's a real drive towards mobile technology, social collaboration. Very different look and feel when you log onto the system. So this is how that system could look when somebody logs in. So it's very targeted to the person that's logging in and making that data on that dashboard relevant to them and their job function. So we can have various widgets appearing on the screen, again, relevant to me as a person and what my job function might be, and that's totally configurable. This is just an example of self-service requisitioning. So there are a lot of people out there using Oracle iProcurement, and this is what it looks like in the new world using Oracle Cloud ERP. So a very different look and feel, very fresh look and feel. And this is an example of the payables, what you might refer to as the payables workbench, where we're getting a lot of information, pertinent information regarding invoice holds, approvals, etc. So me as an individual working in payables can get a very clear idea of what's going on, and I can focus in on what's important to me. So If you're running on Oracle Cloud or Oracle E-Business Suite at the moment and you do want to move to Oracle Cloud ERP, then you're really looking at 2 stages. So we have the initial stage, which is the project. So as we talked about, this is an implementation where we would re-implement Oracle Cloud ERP. And then once we have that implementation, then we move to business as usual. And this is important in Cloud ERP. As we said, we talked about quarter release cycles. These are coming, these happen, so you have to take these. So therefore, the implication is some regression testing, and that's something that version 1 offer as part of the service, where we can do regression testing for you, so you can focus on your core business. We can tell you, we can do an impact assessment, we can tell you what's coming down the line, things that have changed, things that need to change, and what that impact will be in your business. And the benefit of the continuous evaluation, so evaluating that new functionality, is it relevant to you as an organization? We can start planning the roadmaps, implementing these innovations. Some of these innovations, maybe we don't have to take these, but we could take them at a later point. They could be new modules coming down from Oracle, or it could just be new functionality within a module we're already using. So it's important once you're on to this quarter release cycle that this is being reviewed on a quarterly basis, and you've got support for your testing service to make sure that the system is still satisfying your requirements and your business needs. So just show that in a different way, diagrammatically. The first part of any project going to Cloud ERP would be migrate to software as a service, Cloud ERP, and then following that we transition to business as usual, and this is a continuous cycle. So we get our patches, we do regression testing, we review, etc., and that's coming out once a quarter. So it's important we have that built in and we stay on top of that and make sure we're taking best advantage of the new functionality coming. So that was a little bit on Oracle Cloud ERP, and just a little bit, if you do elect that you want to stay in Oracle E-Business Suite, then what does that mean and what does that look like? So Oracle are investing a lot of money in Oracle E-Business Suite. It is not standing still. These releases are coming out once a year at the moment, and Oracle have proven that over the last few years that they are bringing these out once a year, and we can expect functional innovation. And we can expect a change in the user experience, mobility, and also at a back end, we can expect some operational efficiencies. So just go through some of these from a high level. So from a user experience, one of the major things that's come out is the enterprise command centers. We'll talk about that. More use of mobile applications and a gradual replacement of core forms, which you'll be used to within Oracle E-Business Suite, being replaced by HTML forms, so a fresh look and feel. So the user experience in 12.2, we just talked about Oracle Enterprise command centers and migrating to HTML, and the smartphone apps for approvals, etc. have actually been around since 12.1.3, but Oracle investing more time and effort and money in expanding these out in 12.2. So the command centers is something new that came out in 12.2.4. It wasn't available in 12.3, it's 12.1.3. And what these are embedded analytics sitting within your Oracle E-Business Suite, out-the-box analytics that you can start to analyze your data. And so they come out the box, and we'll cover off some of them in a second, but you can actually enhance these if you want. So you can take exactly what Oracle gives you, or you can enhance these, and it's built into Oracle E-Business Suite. So it has all the E-Business Suite security, etc. So if you're running a multi-org situation, then that security is carried forward into the command centers. So hot off the press, the latest Oracle update for these command centers came out in March 2020, so just last month, where they added in 6 new command centers, 23 new dashboards. So we can see from this that Oracle are heavily investing in these command centers and covering most of the modules that most organizations out there will be using. So from financials, we have receivables, payables, assets, etc. In procurement, we have procurement, and so on and so forth. So a whole host of these, and Oracle are clearly investing a lot of money and effort into these. The good news is that there is no additional costs, there's no additional license cost to implement these enterprise command centers. So these effectively come out the box from 12.2.4 onwards, and you don't need to pay for these. So just to give you an idea of what an enterprise command center is. So it's effectively a dashboard. It's business intelligence. It gives us the ability to browse and drill on identifiers. So when we see some data reported to us, we have hyperlinks and we can drill down to it. And we're looking for anomalies in the data. We're asking questions of the data. So we're focusing in on where there may be some sort of discrepancy. We may be over budget in one area and want to inquire into why that may be the case. And we can focus in the data. And an example would be the receivables command center. So if you're a sales orientated organization, then you may be looking to reduce your day sales outstanding. So there's reports and graphics to support on that. If you're a payables centric organization, then equally we have the ability to focus in on payables data, resolving processing issues, estimating cash flow, very important in this day and age. Etc, etc. So very modular focused, and as we said, they cover all the main modules now, and they're being enhanced regularly by Oracle. Mobile approvals, so these have been around since 12.1.3, and Oracle have been expanding these and updating these through 12.2. So more and more, we're seeing more mobile approvals being available coming out in 12.2. The user interface is changing, and you'll start to see some consolidation, some migration, some coming together of Oracle Cloud ERP and eBusiness Suite. So the eBusiness Suite developers are clearly looking at what's happening at Cloud ERP, and they're taking some of their ideas and they're freshening up the look and feel of eBusiness Suite. And you can change that look and feel within the eBusiness Suite, or you can stick with what you've been used to for however long you've been using Oracle eBusiness Suite. Just an example of where they've taken some of the screens and they've made them into HTML. So this is in receiving, a very different look and feel available to you from the old standard Oracle forms. I don't intend to go through each of these, but it's clear that with each new release that Oracle bring out, then they are enhancing the product. They're more and more enhancing it right across the entire module suite. So within financials, within procurement, within projects, within human capital management, etc., etc. So there's constant investment from Oracle going across these modules. And just some more, there's order management, manufacturing, asset management, service. So every single module that Oracle have within Oracle eBusiness Suite is getting some TLC and getting extended. And just from a back end, from an environmental management point of view, a couple of important ones, probably the most important ones, online patching. So if anybody has been through any patching in the past with Oracle eBusiness Suite or any major upgrades, then downtime is a fact of life. And the downtime windows can be quite large. And in this day and age, when we're looking for 24/7 operations, and many of our clients do, be it they're running warehouses in the middle of the night, be it they're running a global operation where really 24/7 is the norm now, then we want to minimize the patching downtime. And with the advent of some of the Oracle database features in 11G, and which have been carried forward to the latest releases 12 and 19, then we can actually minimize the downtime for applying patches to a very, very short window. So there will be some downtime, but a very, very shortened window. So it means we don't need to take the system away for extended periods of time from your client, from your user base. And again, at the back end, then we have application management suite, and this is really for the back end to be able to maintain, to see the health of the system. So things like hybrid cloud management. So we have clients who are looking at potentially having Oracle eBusiness Suite production potentially on premise, but they might want to have their non-production sitting in the cloud. So there's options there, and we can manage that process. We can monitor eBusiness Suite for concurrent processes, users' performance, etc. So just better ways to manage the system behind the scenes when we're on Oracle eBusiness Suite. And again, what a service offering from version 1 may look like, and there's so many different variants to this, but a project might be to migrate to the public cloud, and we have a number of clients doing that. As I said before, that could be Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, that could be AWS, that could be Azure. And you may take the opportunity at that point to upgrade to the latest software release, so to 12.2.9, so we can take advantage of premise support until 2031. And then once we're on the 12.2 cycle, then that's us into business as usual. And we've already discussed the fact that Oracle are giving us annual update patching. So this is new releases. So following 12.2.9. We'd expect 12.2.10 to come out later on this year. You don't have to apply these patches, so you can do it on a case-by-case basis. You do the release notes, you identify if there's something in there that's of relevance to yourselves, and then you can look at doing that patching, and that update patching would be considerably less than an upgrade that we would have done historically. Again, you're potentially looking at regression testing. This is coming out once a year as opposed to Oracle ERP, which is 4 times a year, so less regression testing, but there is regression testing that needs to be considered if you do these update patches on an annual basis, so that's something that's available to you. And then taking advantage of that, so you're doing an upgrade for a reason. It's no longer just upgrading because we want to be on-premise support. You already are until 2031, so let's take advantage of some of the new functionality that Oracle are offering up in these new releases. So let's evaluate what that is, let's plan that. And then periodically, we would expect that while Oracle E-Business Suite might be the right solution for you today, then really that probably should be reviewed every couple of years just to make sure that is still right and relevant to yourselves. It's a fast-moving world, and what's right today might not be right in 2 or 3 years' time. So again, just to show that diagrammatically, an option is to, so the green option boxes here are an option to migrate to infrastructure as a service. We could stay on premise if we wanted to. We can upgrade to the latest release, being 12.2.9, and then move across to business as usual. And again, that cycle, so we're not just standing still, we're actually reviewing the new releases coming out from Oracle, identifying whether we want to apply these and take advantage of these, and that's on a case-by-case basis. You don't have to take these at all, you're not obliged to take these, and then applying to some regression testing and identifying new functionality, etc. And as we go through the cycle, as we said, in a couple of years' time, then you might look to say, is migrating to SaaS a viable option or a relevant option at that time? So e-business suite might be the answer today, but in 2, 3, 4 years' time, SaaS may be the answer. And potentially taking advantage of IaaS as well. So it could be we're on premise today, we're on e-business suite today, but because we might want to sweat the assets from hardware we have on site, but that hardware will come to an end. So there may be an opportunity at some point to move out to the cloud. So this all needs to be reviewed on a fairly regular basis just to make sure that the solution you have is fit for purpose and addressing your needs. And that is the end of the slideshow. Should you have any questions, then please do reach out to any of our ERP experts. You can contact them at info@version1.com. And we'll be happy to respond to any requests coming in. One of the things we can do, if you're in the situation where you're considering where do you go now, then we do offer up roadmap assessments, and that's something we've done for a number of clients to help them make informed decisions as to where they go, and that can have various outcomes depending what your business needs are, and we'd be happy to assist you there. And I'm going to end the webinar now. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope wherever you are, you stay safe and stay well. Thank you very much.